Oh my goodness, it's been a busy fall.
Absolutely. You know it's convention season.
Yeah, we had an absolute blast at DragonFall and GameHole Con this year.
Yep. Let's recap these great conventions and kind of chat about why these small conventions are so much fun for us to attend.
Yeah, and hopefully fun for you. Welcome to Wisco Dice. Hey, yo, folks, I am your host, the Conesy with the Most, and I am joined today by...
Hey, I'm Suzanne.
Hey, how's it going today?
It's going good. It's
Awesome.
nice to sit down and put our feet up for a few minutes.
Yeah, we have not had a chance to do as many videos as we would have liked recently because we have been knee-deep in convention season. And... yeah, I mean, conventions are awesome. It gives us a chance to get out there, be in front of our audience, introduce ourselves to new potential viewers and listeners of the audio show. By the way, we have an audio podcast you can download via any of your favorite podcast apps, and that content is different, and we're usually joined by at least hosts Justin, Matt, and Brian. So... yeah, check us out there as well. Make sure you,
like and subscribe everywhere.
Review, like, subscribe, smash that like button, all that good stuff. But this year, we're at, what cons? We were at a lot of cons.
We start off with Gen Con.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
After Gen Con, you were at Strong Tower.
Yeah, Strong Tower Gamers. That was an absolute blast. Small convention, absolute blast.
Yeah. And then you, Matt, and we all went to DragonFall in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Yep. Another small, mostly miniatures focused convention, charity, and also just like Strong Tower convention, a charity convention.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we had a blast kicking off board games there this year.
Yep, and then our most recent one was GameHole Con, which Conesy and I were at here in
Level
Madison.
10.
Yeah, level 10. I think my badge has level 2. I've actually gone 4 times.
Yeah,
it's
level 10. I've been to all 10 GameHole Cons.
Yeah,
and this year's
adventure.
This year's reward for being a loyal GHC supporter was this amazing wormwood dice tray.
Beautiful.
Like the wood, it was engraved with GameHole Con on the top, and it says level 10 on one side of it and wormwood on the other. Like, I don't know, it's like an $80 or $90 wormwood dice tray. I don't even know what they cost, but it was super awesome to get that.
What would be great is if we could find all of your GameHole Con dice that you get every year to put in it to display them. But
I'm sure they're here somewhere.
Yeah, it's a matter of finding it.
Yeah, there's a lot of dice.
There are a lot of dice.
We already previously on the show we did our Gen Con recap, which took 3 episodes to break down that chat.
This will hopefully not.
No, hopefully not that long. And then I did a quick video about Strong Tower Gaming Convention. Both of those you can check out. We'll have links in the comments below, so you can go check those out. And if I remember, we'll put links at the end of this episode for those. So if you want to find out about those conventions, you can find out more following those links. But today we're going to take a look specifically at DragonFall and GameHole Con. And what we did at both of those, and talk a little bit about why some of these smaller conventions are just as much fun, if not more fun, than a big one like Gen Con.
Yep. And if you haven't already, before we go further in the video, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button so that you can get more content from us. And with that, let's roll into what we thought of DragonFall and what our experiences there.
Absolutely. Let's roll into it. So DragonFall is a small wargaming convention in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. That a friend of mine, Mike, from the old Warhammer Fantasy days, back when I was pretty heavy in that scene before the death of the old world. Thank you, Games Workshop, for killing my favorite miniature game. But hopefully it's coming back, though. Looking forward to it. And Age of Sigmar and 40K are always doing good for Games Workshop. So, hey, there's that. And there was plenty of those games at this convention. I mean,
so many games.
This convention...
And they were cool to see the not just the miniatures that were painted, but the displays, the terrain that they had out.
Yeah, and there's they had a miniature painting a contest, which unfortunately I don't think I got any pictures of that. Maybe you did.
I tried. There were so many people around it.
Yeah, it was
then
crowded.
So I couldn't get close enough to get any actual pictures.
Yeah.
So.
But so just to give you kind of a picture, like a lot of these smaller conventions are oftentimes run out of like a hotel or a convention center, and are most like just like Strong Tower Gaming Convention was. DragonFall is basically run out of a single big like ballroom.
Yep.
So everybody's crowded in this like little section of this ballroom.
It wasn't necessarily. It wasn't crowded. It was full.
I thought it was crowded. It was full. I mean, it wasn't like
full.
The thing with wargaming is like when you're talking about games like 40K and Age of Sigmar, these are games that take like two people are taking up a 4x6 play area.
Yeah.
So the amount of games you get into a space like a ballroom ends up making it feel a lot more crowded than it actually is.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel like there's a lot more going on than there actually probably is. And that's not saying that DragonFall is small by any means, because there was not on top of those Warhammer games, there was Star Wars Legion, there was role-playing games, there was, I think, another miniature game or two. I know there was BattleTech for sale. I don't know if there was anybody actually playing it. But you can go to the DragonFall website. Again, we'll have that in the comments you can check out, see what games are there. But Mike has been bothering and pestering us, and I've known Mike for years. But I shouldn't say that like that. But he definitely has been hitting me up for quite a long time, the last 2 or 3 years, because DragonFall has been looking to expand beyond just miniature games, which is kind of their core and their start, and then RPG games, which they had a bunch of like Pathfinder Society and RPG games there. And they managed to get it off of the same weekend that GameHole Con is, so they weren't competing with GHC. I mean, it's still an October event, but it wasn't competing with the same weekend.
Yes.
So we were able to free up our time. Of course, it's the same weekend as Essen, which in the future, when we get our eventual Essen trip, we'll have to figure out how the Wisco Dice team juggles that weekend.
That's going to be a once in a lifetime, maybe.
Hopefully more than a once in a lifetime.
Not an every year trip.
Fingers crossed. It depends on what you, the viewers, do, right? For us. Anyways, if Wisco Dice continues to grow like we are, maybe there's more opportunities.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyways, we took board games there.
Yeah, we took board games there. We got the inaugural year of adding board games to the convention. Yep. So, we had a few ticketed events that you could sign up for through Tabletop events. They were free. Nobody had to pay for the tickets. They were just scheduled kind of time intervals. And we got there, and after some confusion about where our tables were, they did have 4 tables in the main ballroom for us, plus an actual booth over by the vendor area, which we put Matt over there originally because it was
we weren't
really
expecting
sure.
that, so we weren't
we had no idea
for it. So
so we didn't have anything like a booth banner or anything like that to kind of advertise ourselves.
We just ended up moving back over to
that
same spot. It was
kind of dead over there too.
Yeah, there were other vendors over there that were selling board games or miniature games or supplies. So that was kind of like in vendor row where we were looking to have people come and play games. Yeah. So it worked better just to all sit in the same area and play these games and be there. Because we ended up having people just walk up and play games. Basically, it was an open gaming, and it was great.
Yeah, Mike had told me there'll be a lot of people wandering around looking for something to do, and they'll just walk up and want to play games with you guys. Yeah. And I was very skeptical about that. I'll be honest. I was like, I did not. And for the first hour and a half, it was pretty dead. And then we finally got father-son to play Nemesis. Yeah. And then that's kind of where things kept, it just spiraled out of, I wouldn't say spiral out of control, but it kept going until we were there.
Until we left at 8.
Yeah, it was 7 or 8-ish when we finally wrapped up for the day. And we had played we had either played or taught. We didn't have, I don't feel like we brought enough games. You talk about you bought the copy of Dice Throne that we didn't even play ourselves. Well, Matt got a chance to play it, but we didn't play it. It got played twice. So we bought, we taught it. But then, Nemesis, Cthulhu Wars,
We did play Cthulhu
Thunder
Wars.
Road Vendetta.
Yep, we played that. We played
Seven
tried to
Wonders.
play
Architects of the West Kingdom.
Yes, we
That didn't get a full
to,
game, but
yeah, we tried to play Lost Ruins, but realized we left half the components here that are needed to play.
Yeah, I didn't realize, unfortunately, that
but I had broken into 2 boxes because it didn't fit all in one anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it was good. Like, we had a lot of fun. We got a lot of people coming up and talking, and we have a plan for next year, which we will fine tune. And if you are in the Lake Geneva area when DragonFall is coming, I highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah.
And stopping by, and even if you're just gonna look at the war games and come play board games with us.
Yeah, we'll for sure be there at least for the Saturday again next year, just like we were this year. And because this is just really a Saturday, Sunday convention, you can come in and set up the day ahead of time, like the Friday, and people can play if the tables are ready to go. Which apparently there was some challenges or difficulties this year with getting the tables ready to go on time. But if there are tables, you could come in if you have a con badge the night before and play on the tables, whatever is open gaming. But come next year, we should have a similar setup, similar ability.
We'll know to bring more games, and we'll know what type of games.
We'll have more games from the Wisco Dice Library available, and what we'll do is have them set up on the tables, and we'll actually, teach and or play in games where we need to fill in for players. But the idea is to make sure that we're there to help facilitate everybody else's fun and have a good time. And all it's going to cost folks is a con badge to play, and hopefully we can continue to grow and get people that are coming to DragonFall just to play board games, hopefully with us. And if that continues to grow and succeed, then hopefully in coming years we'll be able to really evolve this into a something where there can be more actual ticketed events and things that we can start doing to help the charities that DragonFall supports.
Yep, and it'll adjust and grow based on who's coming and what makes the most sense. So, but there's a lot of other fun things to do there, too. I got to go around and talk to all the vendors.
Yeah, there was a surprising number of vendors there.
Yeah, there were. There are some great vendors there, and had lovely conversations with them. But probably the best for me is something I would not have expected that I would just be so tickled about. But I got to meet Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And the local 501st Legion cosplayers. And I am not one that goes, oh my gosh, look, there's someone cosplaying, I have to have a picture with them. But, I don't know, hats off to whoever was playing Chewbacca that day, because you were amazing, and I'm sure Cones is going to add a picture.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're probably looking at it right now. But then they had a cosplay contest as well. And that was really cool. Like, I did not expect, like, for such a small,
so many people
a small con. Yeah, they had, like, I don't know, 8,
20?
7. I don't think there was that many. It was like
there was over 10. There was definitely over 10 people because.
But I mean, you're probably watching it right now. At least what I shot, which unfortunately wasn't the best video of that I did. But it was really cool. Seeing that many cosplayers, and I think this was their inaugural year for cosplay, so I expect that to continue to grow. Like, they're really growing. Like, this DragonFall is all about the charities that they support and bringing in new areas of tabletop gaming into this convention. So we're really excited to be a part of it, and really excited to see things like the miniature painting contest, all of these miniature war games, because that's so many years, Wisco Dice was really a Warhammer show, a Warhammer Fantasy show. And then, of course, seeing the costume contest take off, the board games take off this year. Hopefully we can, like I said, we can be a part of that growth and help establish a really healthy board gaming experience there and continue to see this convention grow. It'll be very exciting.
Yes. So after... a couple weeks after DragonFall?
Yeah, so we barely got a breather, and then it was GameHole Con. And this is, for us, because this is right here in Madison, Wisconsin, where we are, this is probably our biggest weekend as a content creator. Taking aside, like, Gen Con, for obvious reasons. Gen Con is its own beast, This is like no, GHC is not like when I talk about small conventions, you like these one room or maybe a small.
I think it's like the entire Allied Energy Center.
Yeah, so the exhibition halls.
Exhibition halls.
Yeah, so
yes.
So here in Madison we have the Alliant Energy Center and the Alliant Exhibition Hall. The Coliseum is like this. It's a multi-building facility. So like the Coliseum part of it is a giant arena that can hold like 20,000 people.
Yep.
And then they do monster trucks and concerts and big comedians, circuits, all that kind of stuff goes in there. Yep. And then the exhibition hall is like a big convention center, conference center space. So there's like 4 major halls A through D, plus a number of other larger rooms and a second story that has a number of additional rooms.
And then they had the hotels around nearby.
All the hotels, like there's 2 hotels that are really close to it. They're full of events too now because GHC's gotten or 3. Yeah. I don't know the third one's got events official GHC events in it.
Open gaming though in it.
No, like the Sheraton has open gaming. I don't think the other one had official. I don't think it's officially hooked up.
All right. Well, people are playing there anyway.
But so it's been around for 10 years. And I will say, like, the heart of GameHole Con has always been, because the organizers are role players, and so there is. And I think I saw Alex Kammer, who is one of the primary organizers, and I had him on the podcast way back in the day right before the very first GameHole Con, trying to get the word out, back when it was across the street in the Sheraton, actually. I'm pretty sure it was in the Sheraton, actually, when it first started anyways. And I was there. It has grown so massively over the years, and this was my understanding is this is the largest.
Too.
Yeah, it's very well run.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's big enough that event like True Dungeon actually comes to this event.
Yep.
Which when True Dungeon first decided to break away or to not just do events at Gen Con, this was one of I couldn't believe GameHole Con actually managed to land True Dungeon.
They have the space.
That was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. But they did have the space. At the time, they weren't fully filling. I remember that first time they moved to the exhibition center, they didn't even fully fill all halls through A through D. But now it's actually this year was so big that I gotta say if they continues growing at this pace, it's going to be another year or 2. And unfortunately, there's another building I think that they can go into that's a heated building. At the in the grounds. Yeah, there's a
the pavilion where they have the horses. And
there's
pavilion.
No, there's another a warehouse kind of building. That's I was there because I went there for a beer tasting one time.
Oh, I just know the livestock pavilion that they have the county fair at.
Yeah, because there's those 2 that are kind of back there, but then they built another building back there. That's actually closed and heated. So, but anyways, we had a blast, and board gaming has always been a part of this convention.
Yeah.
And for the last several years, this has been a huge focus for us. I tried to run some miniatures at it, and I think there are still a miniature gaming presence at GHC, but it's definitely not the strong suit of this convention. It's definitely about board games and role-playing games. And as for example, when we talk about role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons is the big beast in the room, and they actually tout that there are nearly as many, if not more, or not an equivalent amount of Dungeons and Dragons Adventures League games happening at GHC as what happens at Gen Con. So that's just crazy when I think about that.
And it is it's amazing to see all these tables of Adventure League or other role-playing games going on, and with Adventure League it's so running, I know the whole convention runs smooth, but that runs really smooth.
Yeah, it's really clockwork.
They've got it down, and the people that are running the Adventure League and these games are so passionate about it, and just a wealth of knowledge, and it just keeps going. And overall, this is, I think, one of the easiest conventions to volunteer at too. So if you're not, if you don't want to run games or you don't want to be a GM, you can just straight up volunteer to help them with running their booth in the dealer hall or handing out packets or, badges, whatever. And that can go towards getting your badge count too. So it can be super affordable.
I don't think I've actually paid for a badge like the last 2 or 3 years.
I my first 2 years there, pre-pandemic, I volunteered. And I mean, it was just I wanted to get an idea of how the convention went and everything, and it was super fun that way. But you ran a bunch of games this year. What games?
Well, I mean, I run games. I have kind of a standard set of games that I pretty much run at most cons. Things like Mysterium, Architects of the West Kingdom, Lost Ruins of Arnak. So of course I had those at the table. I did get, and I don't bring Nemesis to a lot of cons. GHC is about the only convention I actually bring Nemesis to because it's a longer game, and because of the way the game works, and people can, I play the full Nemesis game where it's not a co-op. It's the players can have their objectives to maybe have other players at the table killed off. So it takes a certain type of player to appreciate that game. So I don't bring it out at a lot of convention games, but it was a great play of Mysterium. We had some great moments, or not Mysterium, Nemesis. We had some great moments. There was a point where one of the players tried to airlock 2 of the other players, and like everybody was laughing about it and stuff and whatnot. So it was a good play. It was a really good play. But we also got a chance to play a lot of games in the open gaming area.
Yes.
So
I hung out in open gaming for most of my
you didn't run any ticketed events.
I didn't run any ticketed events. I played in one. Wayfarers of the South Tigris, which is part of that same the Garfield games, like Architects of the West Kingdom, and this is the new.
It's the South series.
The South series. Which I won't go into a full review right now, but hey, it's a fun game to play in a convention. So, what games did you play in Open Gaming, Conesy?
I got while I was wandering around looking for a table, or looking for some space to play. I got into a game at Distilled, which we just did it ended up being a 3-player game of it using the first taste rules to play. Absolutely had a blast. I didn't actually win that either, considering I was the player that had all the experience. I got to play Terraforming Mars, the dice game, with you and another local person from here in Madison that we played at our Misty Mountain Game Nights. Yeah. And I got to play Hegemony in Open Gaming, where I was the capitalists, and the rest of you could say you had a great time. I think it was... We're going to not do anything to help the capitalists the entire game.
There was at least 3 times where the state, aka me, was put benefits out, and the capitalists neglected to take them.
Well,
I was doing my part to help everyone.
Says the person who won the game. By the way.
But that's what the state's supposed to do. I'm supposed to try and help everyone.
Yeah, here's some free stuff. Give me some points, and I get points.
Yep.
Exactly. And I did take stuff a couple of times,
but
and
not every time.
No, but it wasn't necessarily beneficial to me to necessarily take the things or burn those because it's like burning. So you have to if you're using cards in that game to pay for your actions.
Right. That's
and
true.
It was oftentimes I have this better card that I need to play to do this other thing because I need to do this or that, and so it wasn't always able to get those benefits. Whereas I think the middle class and the working class players had more opportunities. I think the rewards were more beneficial to their strategies.
Or they just didn't have anything else they could do.
Yeah.
So, there were.
I want to play that game again too.
Yes,
by the way.
I definitely do also, and
I think that game might have if you go into that game and you want to play it with a certain type of mindset. That game might be very challenging for certain players or certain strategies, but if you're playing it more of kind of a hey, we're willing to work with you or work with this or work, kind of negotiate with other players, then I think that game works really well, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to play it again.
Yeah, no, it definitely would. But outside of those games, I also got to play a couple other games without you in Open Gaming. So Dawn of Ulos, I taught to a couple players that were not so sure. They'd heard of it, seen it, weren't so sure about it. Ended up really enjoying it.
Yeah. Don't get fooled by the box art. This game is not an area control game.
No, and it's not a super gory fighting game by any means either.
No, it's not, which the box art misleads you.
So, but Dawn of Ulos is rapidly becoming one of my favorite games to play this year right now.
Yeah,
So I have a blast teaching it and having people experience it for the first time and play it. So just know conflict is your friend in the game. And,
well, I mean, there's something awesome about playing that game and feeling like, because you're taking on the role of a deity trying to influence these various fantasy races over that are coming in. And while you don't have any real investment in that, you're just expending some of your energy into those races to see if you can garner worshipers who will provide you whatever energy currency. We have the fancy metal coins that count for the currency. That are kind of returning back. So you're trying to as they balance them out. You're trying to manage like, hey, how much energy do I invest in these to get these cards in my hand, and then I can basically sell those cards or I can invest those cards when those conflicts or whatever or use those cards for special abilities. There's so many choices.
Right. And then you as a player need to decide, hey, what is the best strategy for this game? Should I have a lot of races out on the board at the end of the game that are all pretty equal in strength? Or, do I need to have a couple that are more powerful from the others? And,
where am I going to reap the best rewards for that return in my investment of energy?
How do I keep the other players from either get them to help me with it but not get as many points, or
very cool game.
So
well done game from Thunderworks Games. You really should check it out.
Yep. And then the other game that I played, which is a surprise because I'd heard of it, I never had the opportunity to play it, and I think it's been out for a bit. I should probably look that up. Is Rajas of the Ganges, and it was
you're rapidly turning into a big fan of this game since you got to play it.
Oh my gosh. I think I may have played it or started to play it one time several years ago or something, if it's been out that long, because it seemed familiar. It reminds me a little bit of Praga, Captu Regni, but it's a little easier to follow where it goes. It's crunchy, but it's not, I don't think it's so bad that on a game night with people that maybe don't want to play such a crunchy game, that it is out of bounds for them. So yeah, I don't know. I want to definitely play it again because maybe it was just the experience and the enjoyment of those others that I was playing with. So
I mean, on top of that, I got to play Dominant Species in open gaming, which was an absolute blast.
You had a ticketed game for that.
Yeah, that was a ticketed game. Absolute blast. Very well run. Very much appreciated it.
Yeah, good job, Jeff.
Yeah, good job. Unfortunately, my birds got pounded early because I was the experienced player. I came across as the experienced player, so the players that hadn't played before decided to glaciate me in a couple of things, which was maybe not the greatest thing.
Coming in and seeing
maybe next time I keep my mouth shut and just do my thing next time. I don't know. It was fine though. I thought it did a pretty good job of trying to come back at the end, and then there was a couple of big things that kind of shifted things. But Dominant Species is such a great game. And I really enjoy the experience.
I didn't play in it, but it is definitely a fun game.
But then I also got to play the latest game from Thunderworks Games. This is it was still in their beta print because it still hasn't been through a production run yet. And that is Stone Spire Architects. It is available for pre-order right now. It is designed by the same publisher the same designer that did Cartographers. So in this game, it's a card drafting game where you have I think it's a hand of 5 cards or something like that, and every round you're going to be putting down 5 or 6 cards, and every round you're putting down a row of 4 or 5 cards. I think it's 5 cards in a row, and there are 4 rows ultimately.
I don't
so
know.
It's 4 rounds.
I didn't get the opportunity
of drafting.
To play it, so.
Yeah, I don't remember specifically exactly.
Don't worry,
but
when it comes out.
But the idea is, yeah, we're definitely gonna I backed the Kickstarter, so we'll have it, and it's available for pre-order, and it's really cool. I really enjoyed this game. It played way faster than Cartographers does, I thought. And while Cartographers, it's really a flip and right game. This is not. This is your cards are becoming the dungeon itself, and you're matching various patterns to maybe have certain types of monsters, maybe gnolls here, and you want oozes over here to score points, and there are variable score points, or there are score points that are always up for option to purchase at the end of the round, as well as additional bonus cards that allow you to customize your dungeon cards that you've added to your dungeon to maybe place an ooze or a chest or something, or a trap somewhere where you weren't able to get it when you were drafting the card. So it's such a really cool little game, and I felt like the whole time I'm like trying to master this puzzle of like, I need a stone dungeon room over here, or I need a caverns dungeon room over here. I'm really excited to see this game, and I can see many opportunities for this game to have expansions. So I really hope this game does well for Thunderworks. And by no means is this I'm obviously a big fan of Thunderworks games. They're local here to Madison, but this is not any kind of paid content. This is actually my first impression of the game.
Yes.
Super excited about it. We're very much looking forward to getting our copy and being able to play it.
Yeah. So when we weren't playing games, one of the other things we do enjoy doing at GHC, just like at Gen Con, is we enjoy going through the vendor hall.
GHC has an impressive vendor hall for the size of the con.
And it's not only RPG games. It has grown and matured, this vendor hall, to have a nice mix of...
There's a great t-shirt vendor.
There's just a nice mix of
artists
and... different styles of gaming, whatever you're fancy, you're going to find some vendor there. So one of the things we saw was, because we need more board game tables, gaming tables. Ben, what did you think of this game table you saw?
So this gaming table is from Hammered Game Tables. Yeah, Hammered Game Tables. And I think this was I heard about this table while I was running games on Thursday and Friday before I had a chance to go in the vendor hall on Saturday. So I feel like they were really the talk of the show, like the one thing that I heard everybody talking about. And so I was very excited to see this table. And of course, that's saying something when Wormwood has a prophecy table sitting in the vendor hall.
Almost right across from them.
Almost really right on top. Close. And then there was another board game table immediately across from them in the hall. So there were three different board game table vendors there, and they certainly were the talk of it. And they are Hammered Game Tables are right here from Wisconsin, so they make their tables here locally.
River Falls.
I think so. Which is
somewhere north of where we are.
Hopefully in the future we're going to get an opportunity to do a much more in-depth review and look at one of these tables on a future video, so we're looking forward to that. Of course, like any of our board game tables, we'll do formal write-up and reviews on our blog as well, just like for this table right here we're sitting at, the Henry Gaming table. So head on over to wiscodice.com if you want to check out that, or a review of the Jasper Gaming table. Now that aside, we have this table it was definitely the table they brought to the convention was definitely a role play gaming setup.
Yep.
So it had a number
immersive.
Yes, it was the different finishes. They had showcased all the different finishes, the toppers, everything there, different types of attachments and whatnot.
Map on it.
Yep. He's got a role-playing scenario that if you buy the table, you could run this role-playing scenario that actually features the table in the role-playing scenario, which is really a cool concept. But it's a deeper, from a board gaming.
It's a very deep table.
Very deep. It was a 6-inch
it's
inset.
Up.
And it was tall, and it's taller.
And it's going down.
But then there were plenty of attachments on the side of it, and you'll be able to see this. You're probably watching the video I shot of this table right now as we talk. But there were plenty of inserts and drawers and stuff like that on the outside of the table that you could put. People can have their books, their tablets, their beverages, whatever, all on the outside of the table, so that the entire
that you can like just store all your stuff between game sessions
exactly.
in there
Like,
too.
Players don't have to take stuff home. It was
like
like each player had a drawer, like a spot
there.
at the table and a drawer where they could store their stuff between sessions, which is awesome.
The GM had a really nice
the GM setup on the one end was amazing, and like if I was just running RPG games, this table was absolutely phenomenal. Now the bonus side is these guys are every table they do can be customized to the buyer's really requirements, right?
Oh, yeah.
So not only in just finishes, they're able to like one of my concerns is, hey, I'm a board gamer. The depth of this table is a real problem. Like nobody wants to be sitting at a table that's already really high and they're reaching deep down into the table to try to move around board game pieces and whatnot.
You're not gonna, it's
like their backs are gonna be wrecked, right? So
how did that go again?
I don't know. You can replay for that if you really want to see that. So you could get the depth changed. You can do. There were definitely different attachment options and whatnot that you could do. So there's a lot of options. I'm really, like I said, I'm excited to see one of these tables, like a full actual finished table in person, and maybe have the opportunity to play a game at it or experience it in more detail and depth to be able to really give it a more adequate view. And because it's right here in Wisconsin, we feel like we're going to have an opportunity to do that. We were certainly excited to talk to those folks. So
but all the conventions are done. So
well, I don't know if convention season's ever going to get done, but hopefully sometime in the nearest future we're going to be able to have that opportunity.
Yes. So that was our table that was really caught both of our eyes at the convention this year. And then there was a board game that you were really interested in.
Well, I've been watching. I've been interested and curious about this game for several years, and I just never really had the time to talk to the publisher who was at the convention. That's Mythica Gaming, and the game is Legends of Draxia. I've heard a lot of good things about this game. I've heard it's a really fun game. So he gave me the full rundown. We talked about it for a bit. Hopefully, we'll be able to feature it on the channel sometime in the future when we actually break it out of the shrink wrap. It's on the to be played list.
The Table of Opportunity.
Yeah. So, but I did end up picking up not only the base game Legends of Draxia, but all the expansions that go with it too. So I'm looking forward to it.
We're counting on it being good.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. It sounded like a great game, and I'm super excited to like, hey, I'm building, or you're constantly deck building and whatnot. I think it's gonna be a really cool game. I know you love deck builders, so.
Oh yeah. Those are good.
So, why don't you tell us about this thing here?
This Conesy's picking up at my clothes. So, one of the things I was super excited to see if they were back this year was Fernwood Designs. I discovered them there last year, and they had a wide range of different handmade products, usually to wear, purses. But what my favorite thing is that I found there is this thing called a scowl. So, it's a cowl that has snaps on the side, and you can wear it in many different ways. On the website, the owner of Forward Designs has a lovely tutorial about how to do it, so I'm not going to try and figure it out because I'm not that handy on camera yet. But they has just huge range of like different themes. I picked this one of Hee Hee, which I just noticed is upside down on here, so I apologize. But I've got a Mandalorian one. I've got some sports themes one.
Yeah, you got the Packer ones, the best NFL franchise ever, by the way.
So
even if they stink this year.
So that was a big score for me because these are nice and warm, and when I'm working, it's just like a little bit something extra to put on my shoulders without having to mess around with the whole scarf. So anyway, check out Fernwood Designs and follow them. Also, I would say so you can find out when they are open. For orders. So that
you had this author. You were like, you came over like that morning. I'm playing. What was I playing? I just mentioned it too. Dominant Species. Yes, I was playing Dominant Species, and you're like, oh, you got to check out this author. I've chatted with him. Like I'm not even sure if I don't know if I should pick up the book. I want to know what you think. Like, you were super excited about this. And I'm like, why didn't you just buy the book? Why didn't you just buy it? You were like, oh, I spent too much money or whatever already.
I usually have.
But you probably, you didn't spend it. We're like, whatever, it's fine. Like, what's a book?
I bought, so previous, we have two nieces that are elementary school age that love to read. They are avid readers and just all that. And so he had two trilogies. One was a unicorn one, so like there's a unicorn in my basement, I believe is the name of the trilogy, and the other one is a Dino Adventures one, which are adventures he goes on with his kids. So and he wrote books about it. So it's, you know, these fantasy kind of books that I got for them because he autographed them. So hey, if you guys are watching it, you know what your Christmas presents are. But and then we were talking, and I am on the lookout for a new series of kind of fantasy books for myself. Mm-hmm. And he's got one called Blood Mercenaries. So, of course, instead of just buying the individual books, I had to buy the whole trilogy of those.
Well, there was a couple of different options. Like, you were like, I want to get them all because this is probably my best opportunity. And the money goes right to the author, right? Other than what he's paying for booth space. But
he was fun to talk to.
Yeah, he was very passionate about his
long
books.
Conversation before we came up, so.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for my back bothering me a bit at that point in the day, I definitely would have enjoyed talking to him more. But I'm really glad that you got the omnibus.
And we will both read it, you know.
You'll read it, and then I hate to say it, I don't read enough books as it is. I tend to. Most of those books I consume are audio. With
the child out of the house, now I am rediscovering the joy of reading and sitting there and when I don't have to run around to different school events. So I did that, and then when we go to these, like Gen Con, I've kind of made it a tradition that I always buy some new artwork for our walls.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a tradition of ours now. Some form of artwork, whether it's a little sculpture or a print or something. And
there was an artist 2 Gen Cons ago, I think it's 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3, yeah.
Lindsay Rose Bouquet Art. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Like, we like dragons, but I didn't want scary dragons in our basement. One of the prints is
up on the wall over there, so yeah.
So I didn't want a scary dragon picture in our gaming space. It just was not the right energy for me, and she had this friendly dragon, and I just love this dragon print, so we got it. Well, I ran into her there at GameHole Con. I didn't realize she was going to be there, and of course I had to buy 2 more fun, happy dragon prints that we will be showing.
When we say fun, these are serious. Like, these are serious. They're not monster dragons,
but they are not like killing. There's no blood and gore.
Like, the one print that we have has like that's on the wall here is like the dragon is over like sleeping on a treasure hoard, and there's books and coins. Like, there's all sorts of things in the hoard, and there is like a figure that's approaching. Mm-hmm. We don't, like, the dragon's sleeping and there's a figure there. We don't know if it's going to be a good scenario or bad. You can imagine whatever you want, right? But it doesn't. It's not it's not like a violent, like the dragon is breathing fire and destroying a town or being a fearful creature. You could read a lot of different, like, your imagination could read into what the story is there.
Right, and same with these other 2 prints. So I was pretty excited about that. Not 100% sure where they're going to go in this space. They may actually end up in my office if we don't have wall space.
Well, we have plenty of wall space. I think we'll figure it out.
But yeah, so that was definitely fun for me, and to just kind of get that there too. So
yeah, no, that was awesome. Like, I'm super excited about those prints as well. Both of the 2 that you picked out were really cool. I'm really looking forward to getting frames for them and getting them on the walls.
Yeah. No, and we may someday get a really big one for coming down our stairs, but I just haven't found the right one yet.
Yeah, we just had to find that right one.
Something that transitions from the living space down to the gaming dungeon.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is, I mean, we had a blast at GameHole Con, obviously. We talked about a lot of different games we got to play. We had a blast at DragonFall as well. We're looking forward to helping grow that convention as well, particularly on the board game side and seeing where that goes and being really a part of that growth. Was there a favorite moment that you had at either of these conventions?
Well, I think I already talked about my favorite moment at DragonFall, which was meeting Chewbacca.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like there was just so much at GameHole Con. I really liked the people that I met there, that I got to interact with multiple times, you know, over the 3 days that we were there in various ways, and just stopping and saying hi to them. There was Stephanie and her friend, and Jeff, and oh gosh, and right now on the spot I am blanking on everyone else's
There
name.
were a lot of people.
There was so many, but it was that GameHole Con is larger, but people are moving around, and you end up seeing some of the same people you meet early in the convention. You'll see them again, and you can easily pick up a game and play again with them. So that's nice.
Yeah, no, it was really a highlight for me. Like after I ran Lost Ruins of Arnak in the morning on Friday, to then I think we were in the walking down the open gaming hall space that evening. And was it that evening?
Yes,
or was it the next day? I can't remember. But either way,
it was
like there's
she won Lost Ruins.
Yeah,
she won Lost Ruins. She was playing with Stephanie, and I had actually played an open gaming with them before.
And they were trying to play the missing expedition, and they were having they had a couple of rules things. They're like, "Oh, hey, can you help us with the rules?" And we're like, "Sure," and took a look at things and helped them figure out the rule, like where they were having a couple of issues with the rules. And I agree with them. It was a little like looking at the rule book and the missing expedition, which we haven't done the campaign mode, and that's what they were trying to do.
Soon.
It was a little like I think it was a little hard to understand. It wasn't written as well as it should have been.
You had to kind of.
There were some assumptions by the author of the rules.
Yes, you know.
But
I mean, it's just cool. What did you have any other great gaming memories?
I mean, as far as great gaming memories, I mean. The interaction with people who actually watch the videos, or and having conversations like we had with, was it Jeff? I think it was the guy that played
Species,
and
I also played
having a very interesting conversation with him about our top 10 list, and how Dominant Species wasn't on our top of the 10 list. It used to be my old. It's like 11 or 12 right now.
12 for you. Yeah.
I think Distilled at the time when we did that video was my 11, and I think it was like 12 or 13, so it didn't make the cut. It was
up there, but it was definitely up there. It's
on my original like top 10 on the blog. It's actually in that list.
With the number of games that we play in a year and have played and own, being in our top 20 is really good.
Yeah, especially for a game like that I don't get to the table very often, and that was a big thing that I considered why that game didn't make my top 10 anymore, is because it has a hard game for us to table.
Yes. So.
All right.
But anyway, if you ran into us at either of these conventions, we'd love to hear from you what your favorite gaming memories there were.
And if you missed us, or you want to catch us at a future con, let us know in the comments, because we do have Proto Spiele Madison here that we're going to be at in December. Yep. We have Midwinter where you're going to be at. And then we have Con of the North in the Minneapolis area that we're going to be at in February. And then, of course,
hopefully we're going to check, see if we can make Hoopla work.
Hoopla, I think that's April. And then we haven't officially committed to that. Stay tuned for that. And I will be at Adepticon. Myself and Brian will be at Adepticon.
And Renegade. You'll be at
Renegade. Yep. And Renegade here in November.
That's coming up like in a week or two, actually.
Yeah. Soon. So with that, catch us at all these cons. It's like we'd love to say that con season is now. I have a feeling con season is going to be a big part of our life for the coming year, for 2024 as well.
Yes.
So
we're not going to talk about vacations. We're going to go.
Yeah, what is vacations? It's going to be just convention time.
But we enjoy board games. When we go on vacation, we take board games with us.
Yes.
So really, this is us taking less board games with us sometimes.
With that, we hope to see you at one of these upcoming cons. If we got to see a chance to play with you at either of these or some of the previous cons that we talked about, man, thanks for playing with us. Make sure you tell your friends about us, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.
See you later.
Peace out. Hey there, it's Conesy. Thank you so much for watching. We put out videos weekly here at Wisco Dice. Check out our channel for more great videos and don't forget to subscribe. We also have more great content on our website at wiscodice.com. Of course, we do this all for you, the viewers, so please like the video if you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.